here today to tell you about an encounter that I had May 26, 2022. It changed my life, changed the way I see the world, and changed everything. The way I think, everything. Now, a lot happened before, and a lot happened after. But to save you and get straight to the juicy, I'm gonna jump right into it. One night, sleeping fast asleep in my bed, my son crawls in bed with us, me and my wife, and usually he kicks her out of the bed. So I got out of the bed so that she didn't have to, and I went and slept in another room. And in the middle of the night, as I was fast asleep, dead asleep, I was awakened, but more than awakened, as this light came through my ceiling, through my roof, through my ceiling, and woke me up. But as it woke me up, it pulled me into its presence. As this was happening, as soon as I was conscious of the light, I started to question what it was. And simultaneously, within this fraction of a second, so much happened. Simultaneously, as I'm questioning, as it's pulling me, as I'm being separated, my spirit separates from my mind, will, and emotions from my body. I never opened my eyes, but I could see all around me. And as I'm questioning, what is this? Before I could finish that question, I knew. My spirit knew. Mind you, I thought the spirit was a concept, an idea, and I thought it was the same as your soul. But my spirit spoke for me because it knew who and what this thing was. So as I'm questioning, my spirit knows and cuts my question short and answers, Lord, if this is your will, let it be done. So I'm separated, and I'm blown away by this glory, this light presence, and being separated. Who is speaking for me? My spirit, me, the me that is me, was speaking because it knew. He knew, my spirit man. And as this is happening, all simultaneously, like this is a fraction of a second I'm explaining. As soon as the light came in, as soon as I started questioning, it radiated through me like radiation. It penetrated through my skin, through my bones, through every cell, through every atom in my body. And just, I mean, it was just radiating and washing through me, all through my entire body. And I felt, I mean, it was the most wonderful thing you could possibly imagine. The most wonderful thing you could never imagine, aside from experiencing this yourself. And just washing through me, I mean, my body was tingling. I was vibrating. I was just with this light radiating at a frequency that there's not words in any language, much less the 1.5 languages I know, to describe the sensation and to describe this presence, because it was brighter than the sun. It was so bright. And as I'm questioning, it answered, and it knew that Jesus, I was in the presence of Jesus. I was in the presence of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. And I'm going to pause here and add some more things that came. as this light's radiating through me, I never opened my eyes. I didn't think to open my eyes, but I didn't think to not open my eyes. That's something else my spirit knew. My spirit knew better. Because in my sin, in the life I was, in the person that I was laying there, I wasn't worthy. I wasn't, there's reasons for this. No man can see his face. And few have, and for reasons. Now, all of that I found out later on. But I'm laying there, and I never opened my eyes. But I could see. I could see the room I was in. I was laying flat, but I was up, out of my body. I could see outside of my house. I could see above the roof. I could see around in the hallway. I started to wonder about my kids. And as soon as the war and wonder came up, peace came. And the reassurance that, like, it's all good. Like, it's all good. Like, so for real, all good. Better than all good. Everything's taken care of. And so I'm laying there, and the light, the perception, one more thing. When this thing came into my room, he came into my room, I was pulled into his presence. I was not in reality anymore. I was not in this earth space, this reality, this world we know to be reality. This was it was like a simulation compared to what I was in. This was his simulation. I was pulled into reality, the real reality. Everything was more there. It was like, the best way to describe this, and this might sound a bit scientific, and this might sound a bit whatever. The best way to describe this was another dimension. Okay, I was in the same place physically, but I was in another layer of this same place. I was pulled into what I've come to learn was the second heaven. The thing where the place where spiritual beings exist, aside from the next heaven, which is we know to be where Yahweh resides. Okay, so I was in another place, and again, I'm not explaining that well because there are not words. And so my spirit gives in. It says, Lord, if this is your will, I surrender to this thing completely. And I felt it as soon as my spirit man spoke. I felt everything in me give up. Take it. Every thought, every mind, every part of my mind, my will, all of my emotions, my mental capacity, my everything just surrendered. In true surrender, not this, okay, I did it, take me, kind of thing. So, as I surrendered, a fraction of a second later, he spoke in an audible voice that was 10 times more powerful than the presence. This audible voice I've come to know was the voice of many waters, the voice of many thunders. There's so many ways, it has been described in so many ways by many men throughout history. It was beyond trembling. It was beyond shattering. Wherever you're at right now in this world, you should have heard it. It was that loud. And he didn't scream, he didn't yell. It was just that powerful. The bass, the reverberation of it was just an atom bomb. It was an atomic bomb. Just it beyond shook me. It blew me away. I was crushed. I just imploded in the bed. I felt, and I was still separated. I was still out of my body. I was still not in connection with my mini Trinity. It was something else. I wish I had the words. So he spoke and called me a name and told me to do something that I had denied my entire life, refused. And he spoke softly, warm, lovingly, but stern with authority, and told me what to do. Didn't ask, nothing, none of this stuff. Used 2 words to uproot my life from thorns and thistles and put it wherever he wishes. Where I don't care, Lord. I've already given in. Okay. So he speaks, and this just washes. I mean, the light, the radiation, his presence, his glory, washed through me. This blew through me. I mean, I was dealing with certain stuff leading up to this night that disappeared. Never again. Certain things mentally, certain things emotionally, spiritually even. Never again. It's just gone. Supernatural. The only word. It's the only word I have. So he speaks loudly, with authority, just, preacher. He calls me a preacher and says, preacher, preach. Just, wah. So loud. And then fades away. Fades off. And I'm laying there. I'm wider than awake. First thoughts, no, don't go. That was the most wonderful thing. And I've done all the drugs that have sensations and make you feel things, psychedelics and things like that. And this you couldn't put them all together in the highest dosage and come close to this night. And I'm laying there. First, I didn't want to go. I wanted to go with it. I wanted to go with it. Keep saying it. No name we have. There's so many names. Add them all up. For the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Add them all up. Well, I'm laying there, and after I get done trembling, laying there just shaking, I'm just blown away. I'm wide awake, asking for him not to go. Then it all comes. I'm sitting thinking about it. I'm just over and over, back and over this. Oh, what just happened? And this is like 8 seconds. This is like the wildest bull ride ever. 8 seconds that lasted. It takes me an hour to describe. I'm 13 minutes into this video and I haven't scratched the surface. The first time I told this story, it took an hour. I kept going back over things. I would miss a little piece and I would have to revisit. And I'm sure I'm doing that here. But I'm laying there and I start arguing. Lord, who are you calling a preacher? Do you know who I am? Do you know the things I've done? Like I've done this, and this. I'm describing who I've been. And I started describing a preacher. The preachers we see in this world. How they look, how they act, how they dress, how they talk, all the things. And I'm like, no, you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy. After arguing with him, not audibly, but he told me in this soft whisper that you hear about, good, I don't want you to be that. You are who I've made you. Be that. Be who you've became. Be who, in all of your experiences and all the things that he's guided me through my whole life to become. Be that. Be his creation. Because even in all the times when I was with girls, when I was puking drunk, when I was stoned out of my mind, when I was higher than a Georgia pine, even in all those moments, he was there. In my moments of despair, in my moments of long walks in the rain, in my moments of crying, lying on the side of the road, in the middle of the night, in the back of ambulances, in all the moments. And there were a lot. He was there. Through all the blessings and all the things that he's created me to be, that's what they were all there for a reason. And that's what he wanted me to be. He didn't want me to put on a mask. He didn't want me to become something I'm not. He doesn't want me to pretend. He doesn't want me to do all the things that preachers do. So I'm freaked out. Because when my spirit spoke, my spirit knew, but I thought I was being raptured. I gave into it. I felt this. As he slowly fades off, I come back together and go into my body. And I come to terms with, and before I'm completely back together, I think I'm being raptured. I think I'm what's known as the rapture. Being caught up in the clouds, being taken supernaturally. And I knew very little, at this time, I knew very little of what and how that's supposed to work. If any of our understandings on earth come close. But when my worries and all that stuff starts to come back together, I start freaking out. I jump up. I go check on my kids to make sure they're still here, to make sure that I wasn't left. I go to check on my wife to make sure that she's still here and that I wasn't left. When everyone's safe and sound, I lay back in my bed, and from, I don't know how much time went by, from mental exhaustion, I just passed out. Because I was going through this thing over and over and over. From there, like I said, a lot has happened since this time. So much. More videos worth. Hours and hours worth of other testimonies. Worth of events. Things that I've been through. Things have happened. Talk about dreams and visions. This was something different. Before this night, I had dreams and visions. After this night, I've had dreams and visions, each of which deserve their own story. But I'm starting with this one because I know this is the one that people need to hear. And this is a video. You're not here with me, seeing and feeling the look in my eyes and them. For a long time, I couldn't tell this story without weeping, without crying. And before I started this video, I prayed, I did a little bit of worship. I tried to align my heart and ask the Lord to show me and give me the strength to do this so that others will hear and properly. As I've told this story in the past, I couldn't do it without crying. I couldn't do it without becoming emotionally heightened, without the struggle. Because this is big. This is big. This changes everything. This removed all doubt. The biggest thing this did for me, even though he had, weeks before this happened, he proved the Bible to me. All of the events in the Bible that are hard to believe and that you doubt, he proved those on scientific level, archaeological levels, paleontological levels, geological level, all the aspects of science that try to disprove these factions of science, they're walking back. They're walking back. And these theories that remain theory, that drive science, have never been examined or can't be proven, so they remain theories, drive the agenda behind modern science. And he showed me all these things. He showed me the discoveries of a man named Ron Wyatt. If you don't know that name, even if you have no desire to believe anything I've said, look Ron Wyatt up. Look him up. Look into the things that he's discovered in his obedience to his Creator. And so things have happened, before and after. And I'm just going to leave you with this for now. It's all I know. It's all I really have for you at the moment. If you've even caught or grasped or felt even a fraction of what I felt that night, it'll be enough. If you refuse to know Him, if you refuse to look, if you refuse to open that door when He knocks, or when He knocked, if you're doubtful, skeptical, any of these things, try again. Try Jesus. Furthermore, look for the God of the Bible, the real one, not the one out here in the church down the road. And take no man's word for it, whether he's for or against. See for yourself. Look for yourself. Psalm 118:8, I believe, or 118:18, or somewhere in there. The very most middle scripture in the Bible will say exactly what I'm trying to tell you now. Put your faith in no man, no pastor, preacher, anything, just yet. Seek for yourself. This is all about you anyway. And you're the one He wants. I have more coming. Like I said, I have more things happening. I have more coming. And it's taken me to over 2 years to get this video out. Now, I've talked to people. I've done a lot of stuff. I've searched. People have tried to tell me what I encountered. Only one man to this day has told me I was crazy, and I kind of expected it from him. Actually, I expected it from everyone, because that night something happened that I didn't think happened in ever, or at least in 2,000 years. And the God of the Bible showed up and showed out in a way that I never expected. And if you've made it this far, thank you, and you're blessed, and something's coming for you. Someone is coming for you.